Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey and today I'm going to take you through a 30-minute Yin Yoga sequence in honor of Virgo season. So the sign of Virgo is a very observant sign. They are very focused on the little details, and because of this they are often hyper aware of what feels in alignment for them and what does not. Virgo is represented by the Virgin, which traditionally is an image of purity, but I don't want us to get too caught up in the societal implications of what that purity actually means, and rather I would like for us today to focus on purity in the sense of what you're putting into your body, what you're doing with your body, and how it makes you feel. It doesn't necessarily have to be some outside version of perfect or purity. I want it to really be more so about what do you feel is in alignment for you, and are the things that you're doing, the things that you're consuming, whether it's through your eyes, your ears, the food and drinks that you might be having, all of these things, they do go into our body and then they are processed through the body. And so just focusing on how they make you feel and discerning if they're really in alignment for where you want to be. So kind of in that same vein, Virgo season is a really great time to be focused a little bit on self-improvement, not to the point of being a perfectionist and being really hard on ourselves, but just doing some inner observation and creating intentions that will bring us closer to alignment with where we want to be and what is in our highest good. And so, like I said, we're focusing on what are we consuming, what are we doing, how is it being processed in our body. So Virgo actually rules the digestive organs and the spleen. And so our Yin Yoga practice and our Yin Yoga poses are going to focus on creating a healthy flow of energy through the meridians associated with the stomach and the spleen, which help us process and digest not just our food, but also our situation, our emotions, our feelings. And then also we will throw in some other poses that give support to the organs surrounding and supportive to the digestive organs. For practice today, I just recommend that you have some pillows or blocks, or if you have a yoga bolster, you can use that too. Anything that's just going to give you a little bit more height. We're only going to really need it for one pose, but if you have some pillows nearby, just go ahead and bring them to your mat. You could also fold up some blankets and stack them on top of one another. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bolster. So we're going to go ahead and get started in our first Yin Yoga pose, which is Tadpole. And Tadpole is just the Yin name for extended child's pose. So we're going to come around to tabletop pose to start. Widen the knees apart, tops of the feet down on the mat. Sometimes I see people tucking their toes under here. If it's comfortable, bring the tops of the feet to the mat, big toes touch. Send your hips back towards your heels. Let the hips be heavy and then extend your arms forward, out long. Let your forehead melt down to the mat. And right away here, start to soften in the muscles of the lower back. Soften the muscles in your hips. Think about melting your heart space in your ribs between your thighs down to the floor. And soften your shoulders and the muscles around your neck. In a Yin Yoga practice, we're holding poses in softness and in stillness. And because Virgo is this very observant sign, I'm going to give you some space today to just observe your inner landscape. Observe your emotions, observe the feelings in your body, the sensations. And observing these without judgment. Again, Virgo, because of their observant nature and their attention to detail, there is an energy of perfectionism that can be very tempting. So if you tend to lean in that direction, go easy. Everything is perfect just the way that it is. And simply by bringing your awareness to what's happening in the present moment, You can choose to stay with it if it's serving you, or let it go if it's not. And take another breath in here and out. Let's inhale, lift the head, look towards the hands. Then we're just going to slide forward into Sphinx pose as a transition. Elbows underneath your shoulders, maybe walk your knees back, toes reaching back behind you. And we'll keep the upper body in Sphinx pose. And then bend the right knee out to the right for half frog. For some people, it's comfortable, like I have here, to have the toes pointing out. For other people, it's better to have the toes pointing back. Just soften and let your body create the shape that it wants to create here. More or less, your right knee is aligned to your right hip, and the ankle is aligned to the right knee. And if this is creating a pinching sensation in the lower back, just walk your elbows forward, or also you could fan the elbows out and stack your palms and rest your head down like this. Choosing the variation that works best for you. If you're still in this Sphinx variation, you're going to soften the glutes, soften the shoulders, and release the weight of your head. And then again, we'll go inward, observing how you feel in this pose. What energy does this pose create for you? Take another breath in and out. On your next inhale, slowly start to lift your head if you were letting it be heavy. Before we do the same pose on the other side, we're going to move into a twist. Thread your left arm underneath your body, and then open your chest towards the ceiling. I'm just going to scoot my bolster out of the way here. And you might need to roll a little bit more towards your back so that you can feel your right shoulder come down to the mat. But then you can keep letting your right leg come across your body for the twist. Maybe you let your left hand rest on top of your left knee or thigh, or maybe you just keep both arms outstretched. Also, if you have your bolster or you have a pillow or any props nearby, you can bring it underneath your right shin and your right calf just to bring the earth a little bit closer to you. And as you breathe in the pose, softening the muscles, becoming still with your body, you're just observing your mind, observing the thoughts, the emotions, without judging them or asking them to change right now. Anytime you notice something come up that is causing tension, tightness, a feeling of contraction, I invite you to take a big breath in and let it out with a sigh. Let it clear away anything that's not serving you in this moment. Take another breath in. And exhale, you're going to straighten that right leg. You're going to move the prop, if you were using it, back out of the way. And then roll all the way back into Sphinx pose, onto the belly. And then from here, you're just going to open your left knee out to the side, back into half frog. Once you find the position that you want to be in, soften your glutes, soften your shoulders, release the weight of your head, and breathe. Take another breath in and out. Use an inhale to begin to lift your head slowly and mindfully. Moving into our twist. So this time you're going to thread the right arm under your body, reach it through, and then open your chest towards the ceiling. Again, like I am here, you might roll a little bit more towards the back so that you can feel the left shoulder come down to the mat. Keep your left leg crossing over your body and either just let it hover, or you can bring something underneath your left shin like I'm doing here with the bolster. Maybe your right hand on top of the left leg, or maybe just both arms out, stretched. Take one more breath in here. And as you exhale, this time we're going to roll onto the back. You might need to scoot yourself back over onto your mat. And just come into a constructive rest pose from here. Maybe let your hands rest over your belly if that's comfortable for you. And take a few moments just to feel how those previous poses have affected your body. And from here, we're going to come into a supported bridge pose. So you'll press into your feet, lift your hips up, and then slide the bolster or pillows or block underneath your hips, and let your hips rest down onto that prop. Some people like to, again, let the hands rest over their belly. Other people like to just reach their arms out long beside them, maybe up overhead, getting a little bit of opening into the heart space. And depending on your lower back, you might keep your feet here on the mat, or you might extend your legs out long into pontoon pose. And let your legs be heavy. Breathe into the belly. Feel everything soften on the exhales. And begin to deepen your breath. Slowly slide your feet in if you had extended your legs. Same with the arms. Take a pause in supported bridge before we lift up, breathing in to lift the hips, and then move the prop out of the way, off to the side, and lower your hips back down to constructive rest. Before we go into shavasana, we'll take one more pose, happy baby, or in Yin Yoga we call it stirrup. So you can start by drawing your knees into your body and just wrapping your hands around the front of your shins and feeling that length through the lower back. You can widen your knees towards the width of your shoulders, and you might stay right here. This is still happy baby or stirrup pose. Depending on how you feel in the hips and the lower back today, you might kick the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling and draw your thighs down beside your ribs, just in that general direction. I'm holding on to the backs of my thighs here, but you might also hold on to your shins or your ankles, or maybe onto the feet. Another option here is to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees go wide, kind of like a reclined butterfly. And that's the option that I'm going to take. You can also mindfully switch between any of those variations if you find that one is too intense or not giving you the sensation that you're looking for. And so while you do have the choice to adjust the posture to your edge, remember that in Yin we're trying to be still and soft, so we're not just moving around constantly and fidgeting. We're making very intentional decisions to move into a pose that serves our body and serves our spirit, which is kind of the whole intention of Virgo season. Paying attention to the way we're speaking to ourselves, what we're consuming, what we're doing, and discerning if that is truly in service to our highest good. Take one more breath in. And exhale, release whatever you're holding on to. Let your feet return down to the mat. Back into constructive rest pose. And from here, we'll come into shavasana, our final resting pose. You might grab that prop that you're using, your pillow or your bolster, and bring it underneath your knees so that as you let your legs go out long, you have some support underneath the back of the knees, and this can just bring a little bit more ease to the lower back and let the front of your body soften. Let your hands rest again wherever they're comfortable. And then we'll be here for just a little bit of time. I'll be here when it's time to come out. Enjoy your rest. Remaining just as you are, start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Start to wiggle fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, letting these small movements become larger. And then draw one knee in at a time. Rock a little bit side to side. And let that rocking motion land you onto one side, whichever side feels better for you. You can use your bottom arm like a pillow. Let your top hand rest in front of you. Just take a moment to honor this transition. As you breathe in, extend through the right leg, press down through the right hand. Come back up and make your way around to a seat. When you arrive in your seat, take a moment to sit up tall, soften your shoulders and soften your gaze. And just notice how you feel. Allow the impact of your practice to sink in. And honor whatever came up for you during your practice, any intention for the season of Virgo ahead. You can bring your palms together in front of your heart space, and we'll close by taking a breath in and sighing it out. Thank you so much for being here today and practicing with me, honoring the season of Virgo that is so, so powerful and beneficial. Again, we can use this energy for the highest good, but if you do catch yourself being really hard on yourself, being perfectionistic this season, that is just another opportunity to show yourself compassion and to be observant about the way that you're speaking to yourself and whether or not it is in your favor. So I hope that this practice was beneficial for you. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Please let me know in the comments down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And I will see you on the mat next week with another class. Thank you again for being here. Namaste.